entrepreneurs think about their businesses, they think about making profit. What about God? When God thinks about his children, his people, God is thinking about mission. So everyone, wherever they are focusing at something. But that spirit is called entrepreneurship. So the question tonight is, can you become successful? As you think about graduation and employment, can you become successful? So the other question is, can your success becomes God's mission? In the book of Helen G. White, which is entitled Messages to Young People, he quotes and says that every profession can become a ministry. She wrote that the true object of education is to restore the image of God in the soul. So if the true object of education is to restore the image of God in the soul, so education itself must reflect the character of God. I believe you agree with me on that. So God created us to work before sin entered into this world. When you read the book of Genesis in chapter 2 verse 15, God created man and put him in the Garden of Eden. And the major task that he assigned him was none other than to cultivate, to plow, and take good care of the Garden of Eden. What does this tell us? That work has never been a punishment, but work has been always a responsibility that was bestowed upon everyone by God himself, right from the Garden of Eden. Work itself is worship. As an entrepreneur of God, you must think of working. When you think of work, you are respecting that responsibility that God gave to you right from the Garden of Eden. So by respecting that assignment of God, you're worshiping God. So work itself is about serving God. Helen G. White further says that the true success in any line of work is not the result of chance. As you dream of being successful, it's not going to become by chance, but the result is found in realizations of God's idea. What ideas that God has for me as an entrepreneur of God's mission? Think about that. The Christian entrepreneur usually must ask themselves these three questions. How can my business solve problems? Think about that business. Think about that business. Are you thinking about that business that you want to establish one day, or that the one which you are running currently? How can my business solve problems? If you have a business that is not solving a problem, then you have to think twice of changing that business. So the second question is, how can my business bless people? If your business is not blessing anyone, then that business is having a question mark. The third question an entrepreneur of God must ask themselves is, how can my business glorify God? Solving problems, blessing people, and glorifying God. So every student, all of you here, every student is already a missionary who is assigned with work. Do we agree or we do not agree? We agree. So if we agree that we are already missionaries, there is usually a snare that we usually fall in when we are students. When we think that when I become a pastor, or when I become a doctor, or when I become an elder, that's when I will start mission. You are waiting to first become successful so that you start mission. But mission is not done that way. your answer should be a no to such a thinking. Mission starts right now with you, wherever you are, where you are right now. So it can start from your lecture room, it can start from your hostel, it can start with your neighbors, it can start with where you worship from. So mission can start from anywhere. You don't have to wait that mnange for me, I have no money to facilitate the effort right now. I want to first work, I earn money, then I go to church and pay so that people can preach. That is not how mission is supposed to be conducted. But you have to start where you are. So Jesus did not say that become successful and then shine. But he said, you are the light. In Matthew chapter 5 verse 13. Consider the present tense. Jesus did not say, you were the light or you will be the light. But he's saying you are the light. That means you're already shining. But remember that when we read that text, it says, you cannot lighten up a candle and then cover it in the basket. You are the light of the world that is seen everywhere. When a candle is put outside there, everyone who's passing around will know that that is a candle lighting. But imagine if you cover it in the basket. No one will see it. Secondly, it will suffocate. There won't be oxygen to support its lighting. So if you are the light of the world, we must be open to the oxygen outside, to the society. Let the society see us. Let the society see our actions. Let them see that light. And that will be one of the signs of a good entrepreneur of God's mission. So imagine if every university student of you here started up a business, and that business was intentional to share about Christ. By the way, how many of us have businesses? Alpha, I know you have a business. Yes. Yes, I know you have a business, not so? Yeah. Who else here has a business? Yes, Samuel has a business. Others don't have. Uncle Robert has. Yeah. You see? So, so I just want to remind you that every one of us here has a business. The challenge is thinking that which business? Even Christ, his mission is business itself. The challenge is that we already think that business is where you only earn money. But even where you are earning a soul to Jesus Christ, you are earning a profit for Jesus Christ. Let us think about the story of the story that is shared in the book of Matthew chapter 25, verse 14 to verse 30. When you read Matthew 25:14 onwards, Jesus talks about of the story of these three men whom their master gave out 8 talents. You remember the first one was given 10 talents, the second one was given 2 talents, and the third one was given 1 talent. What is very surprising here and interesting, if I were given something to keep, what would I do? I would keep it. If Collins gave me money today, that Elder, keep for me this 100 of mine. When I come back, give it back to me. Do you think I would invest it? How many of us would invest it? Someone says, I would invest it. But some will fear and say, what if I lose this gentleman's money? What will happen? Eh? And the business fails to kickstart. Where will you get the money to pay back? But but look at the character of Jesus here. Jesus is giving that parable of these 3 men. The one who is given 5 talents, when his master returned back, he had traded that money. He had made business out of that money, and he had gained 100%. He was given 5 sacks of talents. Let us consider that as money, or 5 millions. The master returns when that million is 10 millions. The second servant is given 2 sacks of money, 2 millions. The master returns when he had 4. But look at this. When the master returned, he told these first 2 that I'm very proud of you. Come and rejoice with me. Let us rejoice together. Because they had made a what? A profit. But you would think that you would get furious somehow that what if, in case you had lost my money, what would you have paid me back? And the one in a simple thinking, a layman's understanding, the third one, he told his master, my master, let me tell you something. I feared to lose your money. That's why I had to keep it somewhere. I packed it properly. Your 1 million, I kept it somewhere. So I feared that I could lose it. Secondly, I knew you were not an easy person. You reap where you do not sow. Yeah? You hear the excuses. Yes, he told you the truth. Hmm? But the master was so furious and said, get away from me. Get away from me. Eh? I don't want to quote the exact words that he used, but several Bible versions regarded him as unwise. And the repercussions are that the master directed his servants to take away that 1 million and give it to the other gentleman who had 10 to top on what he had. But one would ask, why would the master do such a thing and direct the servants to take away the talent and give it to the one who had more? Let us learn something from that parable. All of us here, we are given talents. Every one of us here has a talent. Every one of us here has a business where you must invest that talent. Yes? But ask yourself, what is my talent? What is my talent? For me, I know my talent. I know some bit of singing. I don't think I'm the best, but I think I can manage to sing. Yeah? Yeah. When it comes to my profession, I'm a lawyer and I trust myself that I can argue the case very well and win it. So I must think about yourself. What talent do you have and how much have you invested it? In case the Master Jesus returns today and asks you, I entrusted you with this talent, please show me results. Are you going to tell him, Munanga, I kept it somewhere and now I'm handing it over the way it is? Yes. So you must show results. And how can a student entrepreneur be a successful business entrepreneur in God's mission? God is expecting us to preach the gospel and to turn more and more to Him by making more disciples. But don't ask yourself this question: what business can make me money? What business can make me money? But ask yourself, what problem needs to be solved? When you come to one gear and you see those shops, are you asking yourself, if I started a business, how much money can I earn from this business? As you're thinking of money, priority, think about how many people can be turned to Jesus Christ by me being the manager of this business. Just as the other 3 managers were entrusted with talents, we are also entrusted with God's people. As a student, there is a reason why you are not in Vugema. There is a reason why you are in UCU. Because in Vugema, there are already preachers there. There are many pastors who will preach. But God saw that you must be at UCU so that those who haven't shared of His mission of the Seventh Adventist Church can get to know about it. You do not have to preach, but your actions and your deeds can preach, because you are the light of the world. There are 4 characteristics of a mission-based entrepreneur. The first characteristic is that a business-based entrepreneur solves problems. That is the number one characteristic. Those who have studied entrepreneurship, entrepreneurs are entrepreneurs because they solve problems.